Recording. So good afternoon. Thank you for joining. This is our workshop for the Fresno Council of Governments County Climate Action Plan, and this is the first element of the plan, which is a priority climate action plan. My name is Simran Judy. I'm a senior regional planner here at Fresno COG, but serving as a project manager. We also have Filia Bundes and Jennifer Rodriguez, who will be helping with translation. And so at this time, if there's anyone who would like to hear the presentation in Spanish, Jennifer, if you could.
Yeah. Hola, si alguien ocupa la presentación en español, por favor sube la mano para que le podamos dar la presentación en español.
And I'm not seeing any hands, so we can go ahead and get started. You guys can all see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So who is the Fresno Council of Governments? We manage the transportation planning for the Fresno County and the 16 cities, providing transportation planning and programming funds to implement projects within the Fresno County region. And so here, this slide really showcases the 4 deliverables or outcomes of the Priority Climate Action Plan. The plan will identify the priority greenhouse gas reduction measures, the impact of those priority measures, and the ranking of those priority measures done by both the public and the stakeholder steering committee. The stakeholder steering committee is comprised of representatives of all 15 cities and the county, as well as the air district and 2 private industry sector representatives, and a low-income disadvantaged communities rep. The plan will also be conducting a benefit analysis for the low-income and disadvantaged communities as a result of the implementation of GHG reduction measures. So why is the PCAP important? To secure funding, it offers funding for projects that reduce greenhouse gas emissions. There will be a total of there is a total of $4.6 billion available nationwide. NOFOs are out now, and applications are due April 1st. And the PCAP, for reference, is due March 1st. And each award can range anywhere from $2 to $500 million. And we'll go through the presentation and then we can answer questions at the end. So here is the priority sectors that are implementation ready, and we'll share more in detail what strategies each of these priority sectors entail, as well as going through the survey that is live on our engagement hub. So it's transportation, energy and building, waste and wastewater, and sustainable materials management, as well as the agricultural sector. So which sector and reduction measures matter most to you? You can scan the QR code. It's available in both English and Spanish. If you would like to scan it now and just kind of get a glimpse of what the survey looks like, but I can also share screen and show the survey at the end of the presentation. So the first sector is transportation. Measures for GHG emission reduction vary from implementing a EV charging network throughout the county, as well as expanding and maintaining transit systems. For the waste and wastewater and sustainable materials management sector, policies and programs that will help reduce GHG emissions, such as diverting waste through improved production practices, reducing the construction and demolition waste through building, reusing, deconstruction, and material diversion to increase recycling rates, and then also the installation of renewable energy and energy efficient efficiency measures at wastewater treatment facilities. For the ag sector, there's programs and incentives that could help reduce GHG emissions. So having incentives for better practices in ag burning, manure management, and fertilizer application. And for the energy and building sector, measures for GHG emission reduction include efficient electronic technologies for EV charging at new single-family or multi-unit housing and affordable residential buildings, and promoting energy efficiency in new development. So at this point, I can answer any questions, but I can also, if everyone on the call would like, I could share the survey and we can go through that as we're here together and can further discuss the strategies for GHG reduction. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to field those now. And I didn't get a chance to introduce, oh, I see a question. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Simran. As far as, I'm sorry, I missed the first few minutes. So as far as the sectors go and what do we call them? The eligible
Priority measures.
Yeah. Are we gonna at some point have more specific projects?
Are you referring to the strategies?
Yes.
So yeah, we would get more specific as we move forward in the plan by, getting feedback from stakeholders and the public on what types of implementation that they would want to take on and apply for the implementation grant. So it's really a matter of getting this feedback, soliciting feedback from stakeholders who will be applying for funding to see what they're trying to do, and so we can write the plan in a way that would accommodate their specific project. But these are the implementation ready strategies that we've found. And on the slides, it's more brief. When you open up the survey, you'll see every single one. The slides are a bit condensed, so I'm going to most likely share the survey so everyone can see what strategies have been identified.
Okay, thank you.
And I can answer this question live. It says, can you share what are the 15 communities? The 15 communities or jurisdictions that Fresno COG serves are, I guess I could type them in, but I could also list them. It's all the way from city of Orange Cove to city of Firebaugh. So you have Orange Cove, Sanger, Selma, Fowler, Reedley, Kingsburg, Fresno, Clovis, Kerman, Huron, Mendota, San Joaquin. I think I'm at 12, so I'm missing 3. Parlier, and I guess Firebaugh and Orange Cove. So those are the 15 cities, and I can type them in so then everyone can have those.
And Simran, don't forget there's the county too. So there.
Oh yes, and the county of Fresno. So there's the 15 cities and then the county. So that includes follow-up question is, are there any unincorporated communities being considered? Yes, the county's unincorporated regions. So we most recently had a in-person workshop in Cantua Creek, and we'll be having 2 more in Tombstone and Lanier. Unfortunately, this has been probably harped on a lot, but the PCAP is a very expedited process. We've only had 4 months to complete the plan, so this is as extensive as our outreach can be at this time, but there will be a comprehensive climate action plan preceding this plan. So in that outreach, we'll be able to, target more unincorporated communities than what we can in this cycle. So, yeah, the unincorporated communities will be considered all the way from Cantua Creek, Carruthers, Tombstone, Lanier, and so on. And we do have Christine Kai on. She is the project manager on the consultant side. So if there's any questions about the technical GHG reduction measure strategies, she would be able to answer those at this time as well. Since the presentation is complete, and I can flip through any slide that you guys might want to look at again. Happy to do that, but in the meantime, oh, and the survey will be open until, that's one, we got another question in the chat. The survey will be open until December 14th. However, the drop deadline is December 19th, and you can coordinate that with myself or Brenda Thomas. Go to the next slide. You can get our contact information. But as of right now, we're hoping to get most responses by the 14th, which is this Thursday. And we'll have it open until next Tuesday because we still have some in-person outreach taking place. Like I mentioned, I wanted to share our survey. Can you guys see the survey on the screen? Great. So this is the greenhouse gas reduction measure survey. It covers all 4 sectors that we went over in today's presentation. So to do the survey, you would have to either enter your address or, approximate location. I can go through this right now, and I'll use the address here at COG just as an example. And so if you don't want to put your exact address, you're welcome to do your zip code and continue with the survey. Make sure. And so when we start with the transportation sector, we can rank these measures from A through E. So that's 5 strategies outlined. So you'll just drag to arrange in the most important to least important. You can kind of pick that one up. So building a well-connected bike and pedestrian system that provides more options for walking, biking, including things like e-bike or e-scooters. Developing an EV charging network in the county, including in disadvantaged communities, large enough to increase EV purchases in the county. Providing incentives for carpool, vanpool, and other shared mobility options, and maintaining and expanding the transit system. So you can arrange them however your preference is, but this kind of gives you an idea of what the online survey looks like. So once you continue, so it's your top priority to least ranking, go ahead and continue whatever's important to you. And the next one is the waste and wastewater material, sustainable materials management. So there's 4 strategies outlined here. Reducing methane emissions from landfills, policies and programs to reduce construction and demolition waste through material reuse or material diversion, installation of renewable energy efficiency measures at wastewater treatment facilities, and other programs and incentives. So again, you could drag to what's most to least important. And if there's any questions on the survey, feel free to raise your hand and we can answer them live. And if there's any strategy that needs more explanation, and while you're doing this survey, now would be a great time to ask a clarifying question so we can go over that together. And someone else might have a similar question, anything that's maybe written. Confusing. I'm going to continue with the survey. And so a third sector outlined is the agricultural measures. Ordering them in importance again. For the ag sector, most of these are programs and incentives. So reducing GHG emissions related to fertilizer application, programs and incentives to reduce associated with burning, cropland management of any tree crops. So manure management, any way to provide incentives to reduce the emissions associated with managing poultry and livestock operations. And the last sector has the most strategies. So this one tends to be where we're receiving the most questions and need for explanation. So I can go through this one maybe in greater detail. But if there's any questions on any of the previous sectors that I've gone over, please feel free to raise your hand and we can go over that. Sorry. Just the screen. So for the energy and building sectors, we have maybe a list of like 10 strategies to help with the reduction of GHG in the sector. So starting from the top, the use of the most up-to-date building energy codes or stretch codes for new commercial and residential buildings. So finding ways to make new buildings, whether they're commercial or residential, to be most energy efficient. Incentive programs. Oh, I skipped one. Developing incentive programs to use of end-use energy efficiency measures in existing government-owned or commercial and residential buildings. So slightly similar to the previous strategy, but it includes the government-owned buildings. Incentives for the purchase of energy efficient appliances. They're listed here. Again, programs and policies to promote electrification of government-owned commercial and residential buildings. So any of these buildings to promote electrification of those. We do see a new question. What is stretch codes? I believe the terminology comes from the energy maybe CEC. Christine, do you mind elaborating on stretch codes and what policies those are from like the state?
Yeah, unfortunately, our technical staff is not here, but we can get back to you on that.
Okay. And there are some, I think there's new benchmarking and building performance standards that exceed the California Energy Commission's current building envelope energy efficiency standards. So a lot of the policies would come from the Energy Commission, State Energy Commission, and then also programs and policies to accelerate electric technologies, or for EV charging at new homes or multi-unit or affordable residential buildings and commercial buildings. So just having policies in place that will promote electrification and conserving of energy, and then incorporating water efficiency measures to reduce water heating energy consumption. So a few of these are slightly similar, but maybe have one or two different strategies than the previous outlined. And then bundle on-site renewable energy generation with energy efficiency improvements. So by bundling on-site, making it more efficient and incentivizing residents or users to conserve energy. And then encourage renewable energy generation throughout a region by coordinating with neighboring local governments. So within the region of Fresno County, having the 15 cities I listed earlier, having them work together to implement some of these strategies to make it well worth it for the region. We have another question. Are we behind on the benchmarking for performance standards on R? So new benchmarking and building performance standards that exceed. No, we're not behind, but this would just to be exceed what the state is already requiring, to maybe go a bit further in implementation than what's currently required by CEC. So personally, I think this sector is, even for myself, the most difficult to rank, but I'll give it a shot live.
So Simran, I just post a really brief answer about stretch code. It's in the answer session.
So the stretch, I'll read it aloud in case people are joining from their cell phones and might not be able to see it. The stretch code is designed to result in cost-effective construction that is more energy efficient than that built to base energy code. Oh. Live troubleshoot. I needed to drag these higher than I did earlier. This is why we do these things together, so we can learn from mistakes. So we have to redo. Back to the last slide. Do we see any hands up by chance? We can just hang out here. There's the QR code is there for those of you who'd like to do the survey now, and you can also find the survey on the Fresno Cog Engagement Hub. But we can just hang out, and if there's any questions on the survey or on the presentation or any other component of the PCAP, we'd be happy to answer those at this time. We have this meeting open until 1 p.m. So if there's any other questions, please feel free to ask them now.